Why? Why are you afraid of the Igbos? Because your criminal politicians or probably your criminal leaders told you that they were coming to dominate you. And then you never ask them, how are they going to dominate me? Like, please tell us. They want to control everything. Like, how? Maybe if you ask them, how, you will realize that it is all coming from the position of the same thing, hatred, jealousy, something they didn't tell us. They didn't tell us. It doesn't make any sense. So one of them said, if they don't stop the Igbos, they will claim all the land and then they will go further, like Putin is doing in Ukraine. That's what he said. Referendum is this, where people will actually choose where they want to be. You've never been given that chance to choose, ever. But there are those who kind of would never want you to choose. And you can continue to regurgitate what they are saying to you as well. Repeating the lies, the beer parlor gist, but hide your jealousy, hide your hatred. Scream, they are coming to dominate you. But are those who are kind of wielding guns, chasing our loved ones out of their communities as we speak? And the government is saying that we have to give them land. You are not upset. That didn't trigger you, but you will repeat the hatred of your parents and the jealousy that you inherited from them. And you can give more reasons why the Igbos have to be hated. See, I know those of you who are Igbos who also hate Yoruba, so una meet una self. And this is not actually me trying to make you feel good by acknowledging these ones without actually mentioning you too. Many of you too are also bigot enough that you see all of this when it feeds into your bias. They hold back your tongue to remind us how the Yoruba are this and Yorubas are that, and the rest of other people who kind of you have want to say it about. But you see the bigotry Olympics. If you want to discuss a restructuring to even start with, the Yorubas should be talking about where they belong. You have 3 major ethnic nationalities in Nigeria: the Hausas, the Yorubas, the Igbos. The crafter of that contraption, they have those they call the minorities. The Beninese are part of them. The Midwesterns are part of them. Unfortunately, the biggest part, that should be the biggest part, they didn't fuse them together. They made them part of Northern Nigeria when they are not. The Middle Belt are the biggest part of Nigeria. But they call them minority. So when that guy was telling the story of the Benin people buying the Igbo people as slaves, I was like, is that actually like something that's going to help your restructuring, other than just to continue to spread your hatred, your divisive rhetorics that are kind of suit by your bias? But when you are asked, how are they in any way the problem? If restructuring means people can actually ask what they want, and if a referendum means people can choose where they want to belong to, how is that a problem? So if you need to break up Nigeria, right, the Igbos will decide. And that's when you will know the real Igbos and those that they have scared and then they're sort of, scared to death. The ones that continue to have identity crisis. I feel sorry for you. Honestly, I do. Okay? We are not Igbo. We are Ika people. We are not Igbo. We are... See, I really do feel sorry for you. I don't have identity crisis. I'm an Ijebu man from Yoruba land. It's straightforward, simple, straight. You do not even have to kind of say, okay, who is that? What do you mean you are in Nigeria? But you see, asked me to introduce myself and I said, okay, I'm Mayegun General, an Ijebu man from Yoruba land. That's very straightforward. But now you're going to say, I'm an Ika man from From Benin Kingdom, no. From Agbo, no. We are, see the confusion. Identity crisis. Put the question before the majority and let them tell you. Even those your parents that kind of told you before they died that the reason why you have to deny your identity is because it is safer. Join others, okay, to deny your Igbo this and that and see if you will be safe. But you are just being foolish and stupid. You see all these tribal, ethnic Olympics, championship that you are engaging yourself, that are mostly politically pushed, politically sponsored, right? Is in no way to any, I mean, for anybody's anyone's good. Put it this way: whether you are Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, Egun, Tapa, Ijo, Ishekiri, Yoruba, or even like the Benue and all that, right? Wherever you come from Nigeria, tell me which of you is not having his own fair share of the shege as we speak. So if you have a chance of discussing restructuring, or you jumped to Igbophobia, in that contraption, you don't need restructuring. You need a total breakup and let the people decide where they want to belong to. Right? So to the bigots in the house, I say hello to you. But your bigotry and the rest of that will soon become something that is no longer fashionable. It will be an embarrassment. You say things in public and people will be like, are you eating badger? Your life don't spoil. Is that actually something? Is that a real thing now? We are discussing better stuff. You are here throwing your bigotry championship. But are you eating badger? Very soon. And we will make it so much unpopular too. We know that since Tinubu and his gang had no other means, that they reactivated this level of tribalism, bigotry, and they keep pushing it. They keep. Have you not noticed? People said all the gains Nigeria made that make them to forget about all of their division. All of that got brought back in 2023, 2022, when the Tinubu said Omulokon. And since then, an Igbo man that joined the race just sort of look at the honest, so what's that called? Honest nest, rather. Charlie Agmo. And since then, they have unleashed their hatred enough that some of you have been subconsciously agreeing with them. I'll leave it at that too. So this guy was talking about their economy. I was supposed to show you the last time. Meanwhile, the road I showed you earlier, that's somewhere in Ogun State. Ogun State, I saw that online, right? I said Ogun State generates currently annually over 120 billion naira IGR, which is the money they are taking from taxing the companies and the people. Now, a state that is generating 120 billion naira a month, that same state is collecting more than 90 billion naira as allocation from Abuja a year. So that makes it over 200 billion, right? But it is also the state with the worst roads in Nigeria after Edo State. So right now they are paying people. If you want to make quick money, if you have more than 5,000 followers on Twitter, or you have more than 5,000 followers on Facebook, you better go to Dubious Dapo. Dubious Dapo's DM right now and tell them that you can help them push. Ogun State is great. Ogun State is very fine. In fact, all of the road, Dubious Dapo is the best governor. Go now, they will pay you 50,000. I'm not joking, no. It doesn't matter where you come from, okay? It doesn't matter. Quick buck. They are doing the competition online right now. I'm going to be gathering some of the videos. I'll bring them to you. Trust me, I will. But their economy, where they are running about the 4 budgets. Nemeka, this guy has something to say on that. Please listen.
I've always maintained that the most lucrative railroad in Nigeria is the Lagos, Shagamu, Ijebu-Ode, Ore, Benin, Asaba, Onitsha, Owerri, Port Harcourt, Sako Bakaba, to Umuahia, to Abakaleke, all the way back to Onitsha. We've done the number. It's a 716-kilometer railroad. It will take about $5.2 billion to do. That railroad has 200 million cargo ton traffic per annum. Over 400 million passenger traffic per annum. The study have been conducted. That road can be done through a PPP arrangement where government, the states, the contiguous 9 states and the federal government own some percentage shares in the SPV. The private sector investor owns 30%, either a Deutsche Bank group or any of the established rail company. Now, for example, assuming the federal government and the state cut off is about 1.3 trillion, they cannot put that 1.3 trillion in 1 year. It may go over 5 years, but the private sector investor can put in his own money at the same time, or as maybe on milestone basis. In such, if when you're preparing an MTF or a budget to cover those periods, there should be a plan on how to source for funding, whether through fiscal revenue or through borrowing, to cover your own counterpart funding. But the current expenditure for that, you can't carry current expenditure to next year. There must be capital provision every year. The problem we have is, like I always said, is the National Assembly. These guys, they just sit down, whatever is passed to them, they will just do first reading, second reading, third reading. They will just approve it. And that is where the change is. They are not helping the president. You only help the president when you provide oversight function. On the MDAs, you ask questions. Okay, example, we said we are going to do 1.78 million barrels a day. We are not doing 1.4. What is happening? Who is being questioned? What is holding it down from us doing what we're supposed to do? We are going to build the refinery and repair it from 2021 to 2023. We are in 2024, going to the end of the 2024. Nothing is being refined. No question asked. Nobody questioned. When you say to us, okay, we consume so much volume every day. All of a sudden, the number goes up 100%, 50%. Nobody's asking questions. And that is the challenge we have in Nigeria. There is no rigor. There's no focus, there's no discipline, there's no scientific approach to governance at that level, and which is very worrisome.
It's not sufficient.
See, okay, use the word. It's not sufficient, because if we are doing what we are supposed to, I always say this country ticks the right boxes to become a top 10 biggest economy in the whole world. South Korea in 1970 was way behind us. South Korea GDP was 9.75 billion. Our own was 12 billion, 12.3 billion. Go and check the records. Today, South Korea, 52 million people. $1.6 trillion GDP. Nigeria, 218 million people. $252 billion GDP. I'll give you an example. Access Bank in 2005 had a balance sheet, shareholders fund of 25 billion. Today, years later, Access Bank balance sheet is almost about 2.6 trillion naira. You could see growth. And I can tell you, if you look at the Access Bank plan, you could have seen how they plan to get from 2005 to where they are today. Nobody stumbles or praise himself into success.
That's right.
There must be plan, there must be focus, there must be strategy, there must be scientific knowledge on what you're going to do, when you will do it, how you do it, or what you will do it. What has helped countries like Norway, countries like Singapore, countries like Malaysia, countries like South Africa, because there is plan, there is consistency. But the problem, let me tell you the problem we have in Nigeria. A government comes into play, and of course, is this level of corruption in Nigeria. You saw what the EFCC chairman said during his confirmation hearing. He said between 2018 and 2020, over 2.9 trillion was stolen through over invoicing. So basically what most of these guys in MDA do, not everybody, is that when contracts are awarded, of course, they even disburse 70% ahead. No milestone. And then the man who is helping them will cream out their own portion and give to them. And so when the next government comes into place, everybody is looking for where they can keep their own money. So to continue with the old project simply means the contract has been awarded, money has been creamed out. So they pack it to one side. and they start a new thing. So that is the problem we have here in Nigeria. There is no rigor, there is no process in the procurement of things in Nigeria, even in a world of contrast. So, but we need to get it right. We can't keep on lamenting and being at this level. We must get it right. And if we get it right in this country, I tell you, this country is a blessed land. This is one country that can export over $375 billion non-oil resources, goods and services. This is one country that can take over 197 million in poverty, out of poverty within the next 5 years. But we need to have leadership that is focused, leadership that has passion and creativity. And you know the very funny thing here, these guys can actually make so much money without stealing. By true creative, they can make so much money without looting. I'll give you an example. A governor who put in place the right PPP framework to attract $2 billion into his state over the next 4 years. Even if there's an SPV created and his crony is half 10-20% in that SPV, he makes almost about $50 million till he dies every year. But he will have done one thing. He will have created massive job in his state. He will have grown GDP by $2 billion. He will have removed poverty in his state. But these guys, all they think about is, how do we get this out? And that is why you see them, they don't pay emphasis on education, which is actually the key ingredient that will take us out of poverty. Because look at the 10 global biggest economies, 98% literacy rate. Look at the last 10, which Nigeria belongs to. Literacy level of actually less than 60%. Just look at it. They don't pay emphasis on education, on health, on social investment that will help us take out of poverty. Just that's why they give people pizzas and all those stuff. The truth is, all they do is award road contracts, do flyovers, those things that can enable them over-invoice and quickly make money. And nations are not built that way. And we must understand this.
That's right. I mean, you've definitely analyzed the political dynamics, really the relationship between the executive and the legislative branches, really when it comes.
You hear that? I don't need to add more, because that's the true X-ray picture of what you have in that contraption. Idea, idea. There are so many ideas. Any idea that is not going to put money in the pocket of these rogues will never see the light of the day, ever. Here is the senator representing the FCT, talking about the Wike, the one in charge of the FCT, their relationship, right? Listen.
The man you are talking about, his name is Wike, former governor of Rivers State, and is now minister of the FCT. Now, he has responded to this issue that you have raised. He says you want him to be your friend, and that he doesn't want to be your friend. That is it by force, that you should leave him alone.
Please, what constitutes friendship between two people who've never met each other? I have never sat in the same room with the minister except in a Senate committee. So how does friendship arise? Why would I want to be the friend of somebody I do not know? The truth of the matter is that the minister refuses to speak or communicate in any way with the senator representing the Federal Capital Territory. So how are the wishes and the needs of the people to be communicated to him? Please tell me if you know a way.
Well, but he says he's minister and he's doing his job. He has commissioned some roads. He has renamed some roads. He has built, some projects in the place. He has appointed permanent secretaries. And he says he's concentrating on his work in Abuja. And he doesn't want blackmail. He says you are blackmailing him.
To do what? To regard the needs of the people. The minister may be a great minister in a ministry that has no people. But the unique situation of the FCT minister is that apart from infrastructure and roads, he also has to take into consideration the needs of the people in that territory. That's the difference between him and, say, the Minister of Works or any other ministry. The Minister of FCT is almost acting as the governor for the president. So it's not just being a regular minister. He says he commissioned roads. Yes, those roads were started by Mohammed Bello, and I commend him for finishing some of them. But also, just like the people took me on when those roads were commissioned, they said, Madam, You people are celebrating roads in Maitama, Asokoro, and Central Business District. The bulk of the people do not live there. Show me the projects where the people live. That's the difference. It's almost like a governor telling you that he built some roads, so he doesn't care what the needs of the people are. They have needs. So it's not good enough. The people are not impressed. I commend him because I see that some things are done. But at the end of the day, they don't have water. That fire that happened in Karu could have been prevented if there was water. But I don't know if you know Abuja. Any fire truck has to go all the way to Atokoro to get water, spray the fire, then come back. Not to talk about the fact that there were no access roads into the market and a whole litany of issues. Who do you think is going to sort out those issues? The minister. But the people are going to tell the senator, not the minister. The same way, insecurity. The people scream, senator, senator, senator. Senator says, minister, sort out insecurity. Says he does not have to speak to me, so I spoke to him on channels. Just like a lot of the issues that I'm going to bring up today, he'll hear from Ireti.
The man you are talking.
People were supposed they in charge of the people of FCT. They know they talk to themselves. You know? They said, listen, don't take this, just take it literally, okay? Because it's been said, not me. Now, they said that we should try and let women lead the world. If women are the presidents, prime ministers of the world, we will likely not have any war. Just some few countries who don't talk to themselves. There will be no bomb, there will be no all of this war, no. Ukraine prime minister will just not be speaking to the UK prime minister. So Russian prime minister will not be speaking to, Russian president will not be talking to the American president. There will be no war, they just know they talk. So you get that? So, but it is antithetical to real development. There is no connection, unfortunately. So when the Wike has employed the man that Ireti defeated, Ireti is the product of the obedient movement who benefited from that, and she defeated a 24-year-old, a 6-term senator of Abuja, Aduda or something, that's his name. So the wind blew him off. He didn't believe it, right? But now he's part of the Wike entourage. And according to the insiders, Wike trust Aduda's judgment than Ireti's judgment. And to them, Ireti is just pretty much like a break time for Aduda or so. So after 4 years, Aduda will return to the Senate and Wike will help him in 2027. So just so you have an idea of why she's being treated that way, she doesn't belong, okay? She's considered as a mistake made by the PDP that was being a senator in that state for 24 years. Like the guy, they said the guy know they even the campaign for election. He knows that it's going to be the next Senator Abuja. It doesn't matter, PDP, APC, he's going to be the Senator Abuja. Until Labour Party came, Obedience came, and he shocked him. So to manage the shock, Wike has put him on his payroll, and they go everywhere. So they don't talk. So wherever insecurity, poor road, poor facilities, the medical facilities, schools and all that, is that how you post it online? Because the minister know they talk to the senator. I'm going to draw my own curtains there. Do you think we should read at this point, or we should just leave it at that and take calls? So I'm going to come back in a minute, okay, or two. And then whatever we decide is what we're going to do. But please share the broadcast, though. share it if you haven't already. And like it too, which is put your own offering on. I'll be back.